That's the question. Do you guys know the origin?
I don't think he started it.
How did we come up with the word? Oh, how did Beyond Us become a thing? Like, how did that?
The name itself.
Yeah, and I remember you said to Free, you was like, we just thought about, how we love God and all we want to do is praise and everything else.
Did I lie?
Well, I mean,
no, I don't think it was.
That is the concept, though. That you said, and everything else is beyond us, but the whole word the whole phrase beyond us, actually comes from something that I dealt with in 1994, 5, and I brought that name to you guys.
Oh, for real?
Yes. So
because we were Inshallah.
Inshallah.
And Sal was a part of that group. Yes, remember that? Oh no. Yeah, we were initially Inshallah, and that's when Winston was involved as well. Yeah. And Sal. Sal was part of the group.
Right, the person holding the camera right now.
Yeah.
He was a member of the group.
Inshallah.
Yeah. So how did Beyond Us come again? Who?
So this what happened. So me, Blair, and Wes, and the other group, we were singing in Brooklyn. This place, this little studio, basement studio in Brooklyn. We were doing a little demo, and the people who were doing the beats, they had a little thing there that said Beyond Us.
Oh, you serious?
And he was like, we're gonna call our production Beyond Us Productions.
Oh snap, yo.
They never came out, never did anything, but that name, I thought that name was so fire. So, but it became more relevant with a gospel group.
Yeah.
Because in no other genre is the content bigger than the artist than in gospel. In every other genre, the artist is the center of attention.
Right.
It's all about me.
Yeah.
That's the concept that should be the case, but you do see gospel artists that you would think that they praise themselves. Anyway, but that's the whole purpose. It's beyond us, right? And that's where the name came. That's where it came from. It came from a phrase that I saw that a production company in the mid '90s. Well, these guys that were doing beats, they were calling themselves Beyond Us Productions. So it wasn't something that came just out of my imagination, but it was something that stuck with me. That even 5 years before I even met y'all, that I knew the name Beyond Us.
Gotcha.
All right, so check it out. So it's been 20 years, right? We back.
That's crazy.
Reunion. You know what I'm saying? I just want to do this. I want to go to each member of the group, and I want each of y'all to tell us, like, what does he feel? What do y'all feel about that person, or how he impacted the group and stuff like that? So let's start with my brother Andrew. You know what I'm saying? Let's start with Andrew.
How did I impact the group?
Yeah, well, let them do it. They're gonna tell us how did your brother Andrew impact.
So Renald's gonna talk about Andrew.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
No, not you.
No. Yeah. You're one of the members of the group, so everybody's gonna talk about how to put on
One
Andrew.
thing I always admired about Andrew in the group was he was that guy that was like Mr. Encouragement.
Yeah.
Like, yo, Stanley, you're the best. Your dad, you're the best. You're Renald, you're the best. So he's like always trying to encourage us to like move forward and keep moving the needle forward. And also watching him and his growth in the group, that inspired me personally because he had a work ethic at the time that like I was like, yo, this guy is serious. He loves music and like he's really trying to be the best singer in life. And I'm like, okay, cool. And it's one thing to like say you have a desire, and it's a whole other thing to actually put in the work and time. And I saw the results of that time and that effort, and I was like, yo, this is something that is feeding me and it's driving me to be better. And again, as a whole in the group, he had a certain kind of heart that was always like, okay, I'm gonna try to avail myself to these guys. I'm gonna try to be a part of the group and I play my role, because he was never I want to be the best singer and therefore I want the leads and I want to kill it and all. He just wanted to be great at what he did, and he always wanted to make sure to play his role to be something that was additive to the group.
Nice.
Yeah, that's dope. Daz, what you feel about my brother Andrew, man? What you feel?
I'll tell you one thing, guys. You don't know that if it wasn't for Andrew, Beyond Us wouldn't even exist.
Oh man, took my word.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was randomly on a train, in the 6th train, heading up north to the Bronx or wherever I was going. I don't know where I was going.
I think I remember
And I see this dude tap my shoulder like, hey, what's up, man? was like, you look mad familiar. Mad bigger than he was in Kingsborough in '97. This time it's the early 2000s. And he tells me we're going to go Dudley's choir. We're going up there. And you told me about your group that you have. You mentioned Stanley's in the group. I knew Stanley from before. And then you mentioned somebody named Renald is in the group. And so from us linking up at that choir, and you approaching me about it, you invited me over to the Hunter College music rooms, and that was the reason why Beyond Us came about. Now Andrew, he does have this work ethic. He does have this wanting to be better all the time, and he definitely is the glue of the group no matter what. He's the glue. That's what we call him, because he kept us together. He has a way of expressing himself that's really not only just encouraging, but he expresses himself really well when he's explaining things. I can't really explain it, but I mean, Drew is he's as integral to the group as anyone is. That's what I would say. He's as important to the group and there's nobody more important in that regard. But like, if it wasn't for him linking up with me and all that stuff, we wouldn't be Beyond Us.
Yeah, he was always good at selling the dream to each member over and over, because there were periods when it'd be like, this is getting hard, bro. This is crazy. Yeah, but we gotta keep going. We gotta keep this up. Keep the faith. You know what I mean? Like, he would play that role.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
I guess
no, that's not a problem. I mean, those guys stole a lot of my points.
It's all good.
But I just want to echo that, yes, Andrew was the glue of Beyond Us. That I was planning on saying, because there were times I wanted to quit. And Andrew was there. I remember I was a security guard, and Andrew, when I was telling him that I don't really have time for rehearsals, so you guys gonna have to work without me on that one. And Andrew said, all of us really don't have the time, but we're making sacrifices, and that was what he said. That's what it means to sacrifice. And he would just keep on emphasizing that word, sacrifice. We all got to make sacrifices. And I'm just like, he said, we know you have a job. We know that you're pursuing Nakia to be married to her. We know that, you do a lot. But we all got to make sacrifices, because there are things that we all want to do, but we all are making this sacrifice for the group. And he just kept on pushing that, even though I was just like, but ultimately, he had me to see the big picture, and no matter how much any one of us would get discouraged, he always brings that back to perspective about sacrificing. And of course, they pointed out his tenacity to learn and to get better. He would sit there and learn something. He developed a vibrato. I don't know if anybody remembered at one time, Andrew just sang. But he ultimately developed a vibrato that practically was the best in the group. He had the best vibrato in the group. He would just hold the note, and you believe it.
Just holding that one note.
And then when he throws and when he adds the vibrato in, you gotta say, "Yo, that was smooth." And then the thing about it is, not only that we were saying that, people outside the group was telling us that, "Yo, Andrew's vibrato." We had friends that were saying, yo, his vibrato was nice. So it was just something that he mastered. He just picked it up. And he knew it. Because no matter what he sang, he threw that in there, and we were just like, whoa, it made you go, dang, I had a vibrato, but it didn't come out that smooth. It was like water, and that was something he mastered. So that's my thing about Andrew. Without him,
be water, my friend.
One little quick note too. When I played my girl, Beyond Us, been a while, she liked Andrew's voice the best. She really liked Andrew's voice. She liked his voice.
It's thick. He's a thick voice.
Yeah. It's warm. It's a warm voice. Yeah. Very warm timbre.
So hold on, guys. I'm gonna let Andrew, respond to that. I'm gonna go to the next person. But what do you feel about what your brother said about you, man?
Man, that's inspiring to me. I mean, I never knew noticed that anybody was really paying attention to me and what I was doing. So yeah, that's really inspirational, because I was always looking at them as you know my inspirational, and they pushed me to be better. I always wanted to be sounding like these guys, and even since high school, I remember you guys since high school, and you know just. Always thought that I couldn't do it. I couldn't get to that level where it was, but I kept on pushing it. I kept on pushing. It doesn't matter what nobody told me. I kept on doing it, and you know it was, you know, it's these guys are very inspirational, and I'm glad to know these guys, really.
Oh, and I want to add about Andrew. I think we all could not leave this out. He was the spiritual part of the group. When Andrew prayed, he prayed. God was in the room when this dude prayed.
You always said that. You always said that.
Yeah, I'm like, woo, like this dude can pray. Like, where'd you get up all these words? I mean, we can come up with things. We try to come up with things to talk about and pray about. This dude come up with the right things to say. Like, all right, did anybody else want to? I can't follow that. Andrew said everything.
Yeah, thank God for that, man. It's really, you know, just to know you guys, you know, saw that. I'm thank God for that. And yeah, I really tried hard to bring you guys together. I guess like Desmond said, man, I was on the train. I was telling him, yo, I got this group, man. I want you to be down. I kept on pursuing him.
If you ever feel somebody tapping you over the shoulder, it's likely Andrew.
Yeah, I remember it so clearly, man. I was like, I was trying to sell him to this group, man, and then you know he was like, all right, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna come through. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to the next person. Let's go to my man Renald, man.
Yes,
Renald, you're gonna have to be quiet for a little while. We're gonna hear from the brothers and hear what they think about you, and you know all the good memories of Ray and the group.
I can start.
Yeah, the Jews start. Go ahead.
Man, where do I start, man? Since high school, man, this guy has inspired me. I mean, when you saw him, you saw me. Not just with music, just his words, as far as inspirational words, and you know, always bringing the Bible in. And you know, I wasn't a person of the Bible. I didn't really into God like that. And you know, he kept on speaking the Bible. You know, basically planting the seeds. You know, and you know, it was really him that really, you know, I wasn't really a social person, like really, you know, people didn't see that, but you know, with Renald, man, you know, he really got me to be more social, more, you know, and you know, and just hanging out with you guys, just hanging out with him and hanging out with you guys, you know, it was very uplifting, you know, just to have you guys to hang out with. So I'm glad, thank God, that I have you brothers. You know, I've gained brothers. You know, it's not just, you know, just friends that you say hi to, and that was just high school and whatever it is, but brothers. And you know, just you know, just his musical talent. This guy is so talented. I mean, just him, just keep on. I mean, he never stopped, and he was always into music, always trying to, you know, get that song, get that harmony. Remember the 8 tape recorder he had? I used to use that. I'm like, how do you use a tape recorder to do harmony? Like that's crazy. And he was always making music with some kind. I remember high school, he had his ring on his finger and he kept on tapping in the lunchroom on the table. And we were all making music, man, from back then, man. So he inspired me then, because I was really into music, but he inspired me to start practicing, start, you know, listening. And you know, this brother, man, he pushed me so much into a lot of things, especially religious, just to know God. I mean, I was always a person that, you know, I didn't want to hear about God. I didn't want to know about it. I was always cursing, you know, always into, you know, women. And but this guy, man, he always had his Bible in his hand. Had a Bible in his hand, always in the studio, always reading, always speaking the word, always inspiring. So yeah, I'm really thankful for that, man. He really changed my life. and of course Stanley too. I feel the same way.
Hold on. This one at a time. All right, we're gonna go to dance. What you feel about Brother Renald, man?
All right.
So much more I can say, but I just his word just.
I heard about Renald before I obviously before I met him. It's like he's the other guy in the group, right? So all right, cool. I didn't know anything about Renald. Came in there, seen him playing the piano that day, the first day I met him. Dude is nice on the piano, scratching the surface. The dude is brilliant. I mean, listen, architect of the group, definitely, without a doubt, comes up with these things from wherever and just puts them on wax. Yo, you got like a lot more to go.
Yes.
And for someone who's never had a 9 to 5 and absolutely went all in and is able to do what he's doing financially, able to hold down his family, move his family down here, get a beautiful house, all these different things, that is an inspiration in itself. Now, the group itself, if it wasn't for, like, everybody has a role.
Yes.
He was that architect.
Yes.
When it comes to music, he's creating these things. He's writing 85 to 90% of the songs. He's coming up with all of the melodies because he's coming up with the tracks. And he doesn't stop. And it didn't even just stop there. Even when I tried to do my own little thing, he always, here's two different CDs of 5 different beats. These things just come out of nowhere with this guy. That's when you see brilliance.
Amen.
And he's just scratching the surface.
Amen.
He can do this forever. And so I'm inspired. I can't do what he does. Like, I won't try to be like, I want to be a composer, all that stuff. I can just sit back and be like, yo, you're doing that great. You inspire me to be good in what I'm doing. But I'm really inspired by Renald. Renald is like, he's one of the most brilliant in music and in just in intellectual matters in general. So that's what I would say about Renald.
Yes, I totally agree.
Y'all
Very intelligent.
than me, man.
Very intelligent.
Don't say nothing yet. Let's go to Stanley, man. We feel about Brother Renald, man. Beyond Us member.
Come on, Brother Renald, what can I say? This dude, I remember I met this dude through you, Sal. You introduced me to him. We were in the group before, with
Inshallah.
No, before Inshallah.
Oh yeah.
It was with George and them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were in the group before, and then I think we performed at a place, and Renald didn't join us because his dad was on him about finishing school.
I remember that.
Yeah, his dad was on him.
Nowhere.
So we all hung out. Mark was there, and sometimes we used to go to his basement. And this dude created a drum set with buckets and plates.
Yep.
And it was a real drum set. He had the and he would do that, and I was just like, whoa, this dude is a real musician. A real musician. How do you just use? It's almost like remember that show? Was it MacGyver? Like, this dude just find a shoe and he put stuff together in some bottles, and he made himself a drum set. And there's something I remember with Renald. He enjoyed harmony. Yes. Harmony was his thing. If it's a full song, he wants to harmonize the full song. And I remember he told me this. He said, all I care about is harmony. And we would just sing all kinds of songs, especially Brian McKnight songs, and just finding ways to harmonize the lead of the song, not just the background part, the lead. So it meant a lot to him to do that. And then when I remember that I haven't really kept up with the Renald enough, and then I ran into him and he got all spiritual, right? And then that was annoying as heck. That was annoying because I was not spiritual, and this dude kept on saying praise like God bless every time we hang up the phone. That was annoying. I'm like, yo, bye. Like, why do you keep on saying God
and everything?
God, like, come on, bro. You know. And then I think I saw Renald on the J train one time. I haven't seen him in a long time. I said, yo, Renald, and I was talking, but now I'm talking, and my speech at that time was profane because I kept on using that mother effing for everything I was saying. And I was like, oh yeah, that mother effing. Like, and I was like, and Renald was like, Stanley, I was like, what? Must you curse? I was like, oh my.
Why do I have to sound like Michael Jackson?
Yo, he was so embarrassed. But I didn't even know how embarrassed. I don't know what I was talking about, but I was so passionate about it. But it was like a mother effer was an adjective to everything. That mother effer told that mother effer, that mother this. And then there was, and he's like, Stanley, do you curse? And he, you know how he's laughing.
Yeah, yep.
But he was not really smiling here.
Yeah.
That was his window dressing face. And I was like, oh, you got religious, bro. My bad. Yo, I'm so sorry. I forgot about that. You know, and then he came by Kingsborough a couple of times, I believe. And met, you know, and we started developing a relationship again, especially when he got back to Hunter College. Andrew and Sal, you was introducing me to come back to him, and me and Renald reconvened when they introduced me to Brian and everything. And then that's when we started building a group, an idea of being a group again. And yes, everything Desmond said about him, like I just started seeing his creativity started to grow more. Just like, whoa, like just him with his music and our debates on religion. He helped me a lot. The way he thinks, I'm like, wow, he's killing me. He was winning every debate against me, and I just didn't know how to debate until I started really talking to Renald more. It has strengthened my ability to think of things philosophically. But as far as the group is concerned, yes, like he started coming up with these songs out of nowhere, just like. And he said 80 to 90%. I saw 100. I didn't know if did any of us come up with anything?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Y'all was it.
Oh, we did?
Like, when did we do that?
Yeah, I didn't have time to think of something. But the thing about it is, it was self-motivating. Nobody have to tell Renald to write a song. He's going to write a song.
Yep.
It will happen.
And we have our thoughts.
Yeah, I think there are people in this world that are naturally self-motivating when it comes to these things. Where with me, I have to push myself to do it. Mm-hmm. Stanley, why don't you come up with something? Okay. Oh man, I gotta get in front of the piano and see if I can think of something. If it doesn't happen in 5 minutes, I'm done. But this dude, he hears the song, he flies to the piano, he records it, and then he just comes like every 5 minutes he has a new song. This dude, I think, is just a natural songwriter. I could put him in the areas of Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, or somebody that's always thinking to write something. This like a natural songwriter, and we were blessed with that gift. And I think that we kind of taken it for granted in a way where I think we could have done a lot more as a group if we utilized the greatness of Renald. I think there was a lot of greatness in him that he expressed, and he's still utilizing, that we could have used if we would have captured that greatness. I mean, we got a little bit of it, but there was a lot more that we could have utilized. But I think we kind of took it a little for granted. But we did use a lot of it. But we could have used a lot more. That's what I believe.
All right, so Renald, you heard your brothers, man. What do you think, bro?
What's funny is that each and everything that they said, again, humbles me like crazy. But part of all these different little things that each member is saying, I gleaned from these guys. So like some of the things that I ended up creating is like, okay, I'm thinking of Stanley, I'm thinking of Des, I'm thinking of Andrew, and they're infusing all this other creativity that maybe they're not even aware of. They're infusing me with all these different ideas and these different things. And then so when these things get, you are what you eat basically. So if you're taking stuff in, that's what's gonna come out. So as a result, who I am in part is also a building block or a composite of all these guys right here. So like they have as much to do with what came out, even if it was my hands being used as the instrument. What was going into it and fueling a lot of that stuff is each and every single one of their abilities and talents and everything that they brought to the table. Which is why sometimes I don't even remember if I necessarily wrote this or wrote that. 'Cause I'm thinking of how Des is gonna sing a certain line. I'm thinking of how like Stanley's gonna kill this ending right here. I'm thinking of how Andrew's gonna be putting this smooth little touch over here, and how he's gonna come in with the second verse maybe, and then throw that vibrato in there somewhere. Like that's how I'm thinking. I'm thinking of a group of guys who are gonna be using their abilities a certain way, and I'm feeding off of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's just how I always saw it.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. All right, we got 2 more members we got to get to, Brother Dez and Stanley, but 25 minutes is here, so I'm going to save this up, and we're going to go to part 3. So stand by, y'all.